He can be in here. I just have to keep it closed.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just going to give this another minute or two because I see a couple people are still joining. And we're still waiting for a couple of our board members, it looks like. Okay, can you guys hear me? Yes, okay.
Yep.
I think we should do what we did last time and just quickly, when we're waiting for the last few people to join, go ahead and approve the minutes from the meeting. It's just kind of a formality that we need to do at every booster meeting. So Shanda, do you want to make a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the October meeting.
All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Okay, we're good on the minutes. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
So I'll just go ahead and start by introducing the team members that are here. We have Mr. Brandt and Mr. Miller, both from school. And then in terms of the booster parents that we have from the board here, besides myself, we have Shanda, our secretary, and Katie Foster, our treasurer, and Melanie Apps, who we can't see.
Hi.
Hi, Mel. She's our events coordinator, and I know that Lisa Erickson is on these meetings pretty religiously, but she's up at her cabin and having some internet issues. So, hi, Mel.
Hi.
And Kristen is not on yet, but I'm sure she'll get on soon. So if it's okay, I'll just go ahead and get started. Do you know if Miss Lindbergh's going to be joining us, Mr. Brandt? You're on mute.
Yeah, I believe she was planning on being here. She was at school late working on the ribbon cutting.
Oh, cool, cool. Well, great. That's the first thing that I'm going to have you talk about. I don't know if you saw the agenda. And do you know if Miss Pena is going to jump on? I did invite her.
Katie Pena?
Yes.
She did not communicate with me that she was coming.
Okay.
But if she said she was coming, I'll bet she'll be here.
Well, you had just told me she might be, she would be willing to talk about testing if she were invited. So I sent her the invite. But if she's not on by the time we get to that, I know the two of you had a discussion and she shared some information with you. So I'll just turn it over to you at that point, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing, since it's so exciting, I thought that I would have you talk a little bit about the Innovation Center and when it's opening. I know that the students are eager to get in there, and I can't wait to see it. I'm seeing it from the outside all the time, but I know it's been a long time coming. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The construction crew just today, the final ones cleaned up and they backed out of there, and so they still have a few things to do. There's some cabinetry that still has to come in, a little bit of carpeting that has to come in. The district still has things to do. They have to put in the cord reels. Those are the hang down extension cords. They have to put in the air compressor system. And so it's not 100% done yet. I don't have keys to it yet. I got a key card to it that started working yesterday. So I actually moved a few things in today. We're having a ribbon cutting on Thursday. It's not open to the general public because of the COVID thing, but we'll have a media person there, and then there's been a group of invitees from the foundation, from our booster board, from the district, and so we'll do a quick ribbon cutting with a self-guided tour and a little lunch tomorrow. It's not going to be a long function. It's going to be like about an hour, and we're going to try to stay apart. We will not have a open to the public thing until after we have all the machines in there and all the furniture. The furniture is scheduled to be delivered sometime at the end of this month or the first week of December. Most of the large equipment that's going to be purchased right away is going to be in by then. The cabinetry, though, for the print lab will not be done until the end of December. And so we're probably not looking at having students really in there until next semester. Hopefully some of them over Christmas break, if we're allowed to do that. But probably classes will start in there at the beginning of next semester. And that will include the robotics class, hopefully, and the engineering classes. We actually met today with the SUSD Foundation, and we're looking at developing a K-6 outreach, makerspace outreach, to bring some of our elementary students in. I'm sure you've all heard of Camp Invention before. Camp Invention has a program called the Makerspace, which is targeted at students from kindergarten to 6th grade. And it focuses on entrepreneurialism and inventing something all the way through the marketing idea. And so we're looking at trying to bring that in, and so that we can bring in our young kids into the makerspace. So we're working on a lot of stuff related to it. We're very excited. The facility is really nice. The equipment is starting to come in. I'm actually going in on Wednesday to assemble some of the equipment that's arrived. Very excited about that. But it's going to be great. I could talk all night about it. Don't ask me questions about anything else, because I'll just talk about the
Well, shoot, because I was just about to. Well, first I was just going to ask, this is an easy one. So are we having an opportunity in January for parents that are interested to come in and see it, to be able to be on campus?
We're going to, what we're targeting is a one family at a time mini tour thing, where you do a sign up genius, and you enter through the parking lot. You just go into the Innovation Center and then out the same direction. It may be a self-guided tour, so we may just put signage up so you can walk in and see everything and then just kind of exit. We want to do whatever we do, we want to make it as safe as possible for everyone. We do want to, I mean, everyone's excited. Our teachers are excited, our students are excited, and our families are excited. So that's kind of our concept at this point. With COVID being worse than it ever has, we're very hesitant to get the kids in there because they're going to be really excited to work, and it's going to be hard to keep them apart. But we kind of got the idea that if we had their family, if the families came together, and if they just traveled through, a path that we had indicated, and we put up signage, this is this and this is that. So, on a Sign Up Genius where you had 10 minutes in there. So that's what we're looking at right now, unless you have some brilliant idea that's better.
No, I do not have a brilliant idea that's better. I think that sounds great, but I did want to ask, so given that a lot of these families on here on the Zoom call right now are probably new and were not around when we kind of started the whole discussions about the Innovation Center, what it was going to look like. I know you just warned me not to do this, but in a nutshell, what kind of things are the kids going to be able to do in the Innovation Center besides, so it sounds like it's going to have awesome opportunities for robotics. And I know even Miss Peacock with art is going to be taking advantage of some of the things in there. So what types of things will be in there that the kids other than robotics kids and the robotics kids will get to have their hands on?
Okay, so there'll be CNC machines. A CNC machine uses a computer program to cut. It can cut metal, it can cut wood, it can cut polycarbonate, and there'll be several of those. There's going to be a lot of shop tools in there. Some of them are designed just to cut metal, and some of them are designed to cut other things. There's going to be a welder that'll probably be used primarily, I think, by art more than by, I mean, maybe some a little bit by the robotics, but it'll probably be more of an art thing. There's a sewing machine that is an embroidery machine. So, someone decides they want to, make a shirt with a specific design or something.
Her sister too.
There'll be 3D printers. So if a student wants to make a prototype of something that they want to sell, and so one of our, it's an innovation center, and that's, the word innovation comes from invent, and we want to foster that inventive spirit. Yes, STEM is really what we're about, STEM, but we would like to have other possibilities for kids that want to invent or to sell things. We're partners with the Farley Foundation, who's giving us a lot of money for this, and they are into STEAM and into entrepreneurialism. And so it's going to be open to other teachers that want to use it. If they're going, I want to bring this class in, that's going to be a possibility. I'm not sure how that's going to work this year. I know that Theater Tech is looking forward to using the facility because they're the area that they have their tools and that they're able to work in to build sets is very small. And we bought a panel saw, which can be used to cut big wood. And we have other materials that will help them to make sets and that sort of thing. We're looking at getting a paint booth, which will assist them in painting their sets. Can be used to paint anything, but that's what we're looking at. So it's an open concept though, and that's what we want. We want all the academy kids to say, well, I have this idea. And then when they bring it in and we get a group of kids together and say, yeah, let's make this idea happen. We have to design it. Let's design it on the computer. We can use a 3D printer to make a prototype. Okay, now that we have a prototype, how are we going to market this thing? So it's very open. We're gonna see what we can do and see what the kids want to do. But it's kind of like the academy. We're about opportunities, and by having the innovation center there'll be a lot of opportunities. And if a kid comes to us and says, we want to do this, our job, Ray and Susan and I, is find some way to allow them to explore that, do it.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. It's very exciting. Okay. And the next thing that I have to talk about is Sisters in STEM, which we briefly talked about last month. Many of you have probably attended that before. It's going to be online, obviously given the situation, and it's going to take place at the end of January. No, not the end of January. January 10th? I'm going off memory, so someone chime in or put it in the chat if you know. I know that we will need a lot of student volunteers, and there will be a lot of logistics involved because we'll be trying to have all of our displays and our different things going on, and that'll all have to be, through the computer. So I saw Susan just jumped on. Is that?
I have January 8th, Ashley.
Thank you. January 8th. Susan, is there anything that you would like to add about Sisters in STEM?
Not a whole lot right now. We're meeting on Sunday to iron out some details and come up with, we did talk earlier about different kinds of activities, and some of the ones that we had done before will still work, but we need to come up with some new ones. Talking about the logistics of putting the kids into breakout rooms. So we have to look at that and dig through that a little bit more on Sunday. But lots of good ideas are flying around. The kids have endless ideas. Mm-hmm. So I think it will be different, but I'm sure it will be a success.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then I just wanted to talk briefly about CyberPatriot. So the CyberPatriot Competition kids, we have 4 teams, and they actually will be having their first competition coming up this week. I believe it starts on Thursday. And they will be competing against 4,800 other teams across the United States that are part of the CyberPatriot competitive program. So that's pretty exciting. We have 4 teams to contribute to that program, and our teams did awesome this summer. So it'll be their first competition. It'll be pretty cool. So then they have the second round will be in December. So Susan, is there anything that you would like to add there?
No, I just got an email earlier, forwarded it to Jake, who's heading up that initiative, and it's all the information and codes to download the images to prepare for the competition on Saturday.
So now some of it's starting on Thursday. Is that just when they start getting access to the information?
Well, yeah, we get access to the information, and you can pick a time. You have to pick a time.
I see.
And it has to be 6 hours straight through.
I got you. So we are competing on Saturday, not Thursday. So that was
we chose Saturday.
My mistake there. Okay. Well, that's exciting. And then the other initiatives through CyberPatriot the kindergarten through 6 is going awesome. The kids are doing a great job. They're teaching to the younger kids, and I overheard one of my daughters on the call yesterday, and it seems like that's all going very, very well. So there's a lot of potential to grow that, and a couple of the students are getting started too on the cyber generations, which is helping educate the elderly population about dangers on the internet and scams, even via telephone and things like that. So they're getting moving on that as well. And then we have the book, which Lisa would talk about if she were here, but she's not here, and I've heard that it's moving along great. So Susan, is there anything that you wanted to add about the cyber book the kids are working on?
We had a meeting a week or so ago with Kaylee and I just lost her name. The one that's doing from Chaparral, that's doing all the editing and
Artist.
the artwork. And that was kind of fun. She sat in on the meeting with the kids, and she is a college student now in I can't remember which art school, but she's very, very busy. But she did say that she was on target for completing the different pages and the artwork and the different pages. I can't remember exactly when, but it's not this week. It's going to be a couple months.
So lots of options with CyberPatriot for the students to get involved in, and for kids that are not going to go back to school in person, it's kind of a nice way to stay connected. I mean, I know with both my daughters are doing the K6 and the competition team, and so they're jumping on Zooms, a couple times a week and getting to interact with people and work on things. And plus, the competition counts for the requirement for graduating with MSA distinctions. So lots of great reasons to get involved in CyberPatriot. And then the next thing is, Melanie, I just wanted to have you briefly talk about our upcoming fundraiser, and then the one that we're going to be doing in December, though I know we do not have a date for that yet, but you want to just give us a little blurb on that?
Yes, I put it in the chat. It's on November 18th at Crumble from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Crumble's in the Grove on Hayden and McCormick Ranch Road. And we do have a flyer. I think it'll be on our Facebook page. I was trying to see if I could put it in the chat. So I might be able to do that as well. I'm working on that as we're talking. And then Lucy's will be most likely, yes, we're thinking a Saturday in December. So we have a contact and we just have to check with them to see if that works for Lucy's, which is right next to Crumble.
For those of you who don't know about Crumble, they have just the best cookies in the world. So they're big, giant cookies. They're delicious. So I actually printed out a couple of those flyers, Melanie. I was planning to hang them around school.
Oh,
and
cool.
Let's definitely share that with our students, because I think of all the fundraising opportunities, they would go buy cookies at Crumble.
I did send it to Susan, Christopher, and Ray too. Mr.
Awesome.
Brandt, so they have it as well. But I'm going to see if I can put it in the chat. I'm not sure. And then Shanda will be putting it on our Facebook page. It will not include online orders. They made that clear. So you have to go in, but they practice social distancing. I see them a lot. And they practice like spread out lines, and you could probably call in advance, but you have to pick it up. I think you have to go in to pick it up. They do have curbside delivery, but they just said you have to go in to get the credit. So you want to just mention MSA from 3 to 9, that's a pretty long time. So I'm excited to see. 15% will go to MSA proceeds.
Thanks, Mel. And then Katie Foster, do you want to give a quick treasury update? Is there anything that you'd like to share?
Let's see, this past month, with the support from parents who've donated for air purifiers, and also with the matching support from Battelle Engineering, we've purchased 18 air purifiers for teachers on campus. I don't know if Shanda posted those on Facebook. I believe Lisa sent us a few pictures of our teachers happily standing by their air purifiers. So they were very grateful for those. Thank you to the families that donated specifically for the air purifiers. Our general MSA balance is currently at about $7,500. We know we make a little bit here and there from Bashas' and from Amazon. If you haven't connected your Amazon account to Amazon Smile for Saguaro Math and Science Academy, please do so. We're heading into the holiday season, and also with COVID, I'm sure people are doing a lot of online shopping, and every little bit adds up. So if you have any questions about how to do that, please go to our Facebook page, and you can just ask a question, and I'm happy to help you figure that out. So, you know, and thanks to Melanie, who's helping us with our fundraisers. You know, right now we're working off of the restaurant nights and parent donations. So thank you to everybody who's been supporting us.
And
I guess that's about it.
it's been awesome that we've been able to get those air purification
Yeah.
systems into the teachers' rooms. I know Lisa Erickson did a ton of research
Yeah.
into, you know, the most effective and most cost-effective thing that we could provide our teachers with that would help keep them safer and help keep our students safer. And this was it. So yes, when I actually sent out the notification about this meeting, I attached some of those photos. So hopefully they're on Facebook as well. But we have 3 different teachers that were posing and seemed pretty happy with their air purifiers. So it's hard to figure out what we can do right now for our teachers, because they're obviously, you know, these are really extenuating circumstances and difficult for them, but whatever we can do is great. I'm still waiting to hear on the approval or to get a nod on trying to do a teacher luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Brandt, I don't know if maybe you can try to help me with administration there. I want to make sure that we get the okay on doing something like that. I had spoken to both Lucy's and Sprouts about trying to, you know, do some type of a luncheon where everything is packaged separately. But it would be nice, given that the teachers have 20 or 30 minutes for lunch, if we could try to get a couple of those in before the break. So, and then the next thing that I think that would be good to talk about is the upcoming PSAT, which was scheduled in October and then postponed, and it's now scheduled for January 26th. Hopefully I have my date right there. And Mr. Brandt, would you like to share a little bit about who that PSAT is for and what the plans are for taking it safely, and if school is closed and all that stuff? You're on mute.
I'll start by unmuting myself. And anyway, so the PSAT is a practice SAT test, and all of our sophomores will take it, and the Scottsdale School District pays for the sophomores to take it. On the same day as the PSAT, which is it like January 26th or 8th? It's either the 26th or 8th. Is the 6th, 26th? So
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
yeah, I could call up. I was trying to call up my calendar, and I'm not having much luck with it. So anyway, the PSAT is also used, if you take it as a junior, as the National Merit Qualifying Test. And so we try to get our juniors to take that test, because then that qualifies them for scholarships and national merit. It costs $20 when a junior takes it, and they need to register for that. They can do it online, or they can do it in the bookstore. If they're in person, I would go into the bookstore and pay my $20, get my receipt, and have it there. But from my understanding, There's been some problems with the online stuff, but they keep telling me that they've got them all fixed. So you should be able to do it either way. Math and Science Academy kids, I want them all to take it, our juniors to take it, because they're bright, and you never know. We've had some students who go, well, I'm just, I'm not that great. And then they take it and they score really higher than they thought they were. In addition, you get a report back which says this is what you need to work on for your SAT tests. And so it's a valuable tool in studying to take the SATs, which we want our kids to do well on those college entrance exams. Have I answered your questions, or you have, you want to know about what she said. There is not a district plan yet for what happens if they close down the schools or if we have a large COVID outbreak. Katie was pretty plain that they're having meetings to discuss how, these particular problems and how they'll handle them. At this point, they're planning on having the kids in person. The entire PSAT and National Merit Qualifying Test is going to be in person. And there are no accommodations at this time for kids that are not able to take it because they're quarantined or at home and not wanting to come in and take the test. So we had, she basically said to me, we're still working on that. It may come down to they're planning on right now using all of the teachers in the whole school just to take care of their sophomores. So we're looking at maybe 6 kids in a classroom. And then using also the bigger spaces that we have, the cafeteria, the community room, probably the innovation center, to spread the kids out so that, they're really, really spread out, because they're going to be there for multiple hours working on it. And it may come down to, okay, now this kid is on quarantine, so now we're going to move these quarantine kids in. And, maybe we bring them in and, maybe somehow we have them isolated and we can still monitor them. They're not sure. They don't really know what they're doing yet. But we'll keep you informed as we get closer. And she has meetings on the thing. I know that she was planning on having a meeting this week, but I will continue to update you, Ashley, and the board, and then you can send out the information.
Okay, thank you. And I'm just gonna, I think I mentioned this last month, or maybe it was our meeting last week, but if you have a child who you feel like, they can't come in, there's no way they're going to be able to come in and take standardized tests over this next year. They're autoimmune compromised for some, reason that they just literally cannot come and take the test. Then I'm just going to highly recommend to reach out to the administration at school to inquire about a 504 plan, which can help accommodate students that have health issues. And of course, that's different now in COVID. Maybe your student before didn't need a 504 plan, but now they can't be near people at all. We certainly wouldn't want students kept from having the opportunity to take these standardized tests because they have some type of health problem that's prohibiting them from being on campus at all. So,
right.
And then also, Mr. Brandt, we had a question about, from a parent in the chat here about if freshmen are able to sign up. I know that they're not, signed up automatically, but can they pay and sign up and take the test just for experience?
And my understanding is no. There is a 9th grade PSAT test. We do not give it in the Scottsdale School District. That doesn't mean it's not given. You can go online and you can sign up for it and you can go take it at a different location, but it's not something that is delivered, and you can't you're not going to give it, they're not going to allow you to take the 10th grade one in 8th or 9th grade. They're going to make you take the 8th or 9th grade one. Does that make sense? And it is not something our district supports. So, you know, if that's something that the boosters want, then I will look into that. You know, if we have enough parents who are going, I want my kid to take the 9th grade PSAT, and it is just a practice SAT test. You can go online and you can download practice SAT tests, and you can have the parent at home say, okay, I'm going to be the proctor. You're going to take this just exactly like you would at school. That's a possibility. We could also do a downloaded version and provide that for our 9th graders if there was a need for that. We've done this for our 10th graders. We've done practice SATs, and we've done, you know, that for our 10th graders before they took the PSAT 10, so that they would do, you know, it would more accurately represent what they know. We could do that for 9th graders if that's something that you guys want to do.
So if there are some 9th grade parents here that's something that they want to do, should they just reach out to you and?
I will let me do more research, but the first thing they can do is they can go onto the College Board and they can look and find out about the 9th grade version, the PSAT 9. Our kids take the PSAT 10 in 10th grade, but there is a PSAT 9. And they can get information on that, just like I would go online and get information. If we were going to just do it at Saguaro as an MSA thing, we would probably just download a normal PSAT test and do it as a practice thing. And it would not deliver the same information as you get from your PSAT. When our kids take the PSAT 10, they get information back saying, okay, these are the areas that you're strong in, and these are the areas that you're weak in, and these are the things you can do to study for it. If we just do it as, okay, we're going to do this as our own little thing, we don't deliver that information. But if you do take the PSAT 9, you would be able to get that information, and you probably could take that PSAT 9 at another local school. A lot of the charter schools do the PSAT 9 and publish their scores.
And I would suggest, just based on a conversation I just very recently had with a college counselor, to look into that right away, because they're getting very, very full because so many schools are having to cancel. So, and then we have a comment here. Yeah, most charter schools and private schools offer the PSAT in 9th grade. So we may want to look into that going forward. So something that when we're maybe not dealing with COVID and everything, that we're trying to, you know, accommodate testing even for 10th and 11th graders. Certainly that's something that would be something to look into in the future. I did feel like the study sessions that you had, I think it was early last fall, were helpful. So something I forgot to put on the agenda that kind of falls in line with that, in addition to PSAT study sessions, I saw an email from Ms. Lindbergh that there are some study sessions for certain classes. Is that something that we're looking at trying to build a calendar for going forward?
The school came out with that. It's open to all Saguaro students. They're you know, I can forward that information to you, or I can just send it to all our students. Our students should have gotten it, but I certainly can forward it to you. Susan?
Yes, it was just another outside opportunity for some study sessions.
But there was one class that was a Saguaro study session specifically, right?
No, they said that there was an AP statistics video session that night.
Okay, okay, I
So
misunderstood.
I just
thought that
highlighted
was like
that.
okay, okay. I thought that was
Yeah.
a specific, okay.
But
Are
we do
we,
have the Cat's Den starting back up.
The Cat's
Okay.
Den. That's the one at Saguaro, the Cat's Den, which is really, it used to be the House of Tutors, and then they changed it to the Cat's Den because you get a new group of kids and they want a new name. And so that's starting up again. When is that starting, Susan?
To be honest, I can't remember. I saw the sign and I was going to scan it and send it out to students, but I've been kind of running around for this ribbon cutting.
Okay, I'll
Do you
write
happen-
that. I'll
It's
write
on my
that.
list. It's on my list.
do
Cats.
you happen to know if we're gonna have AP study sessions online for like the classes that are just one semester, like government, for example?
Run through the MSA or through their teachers. I mean, their teachers may have them.
Okay. And is that something that we could promote as the MSA booster group? I mean, get the calendar for? I feel like in the past we had some of these.
Yeah, I know for a fact that that Lisa provided food for multiple AP study sessions because I was helping with chemistry. Well, Kaylee was in there, and we'd have the study session, and Lisa would bring in food for all these kids so that they could stay longer, and we could do the study session. And I think that would be the best way for parents to help it, to let the teachers know, because they're always given by the teacher of record for that particular thing. Sometimes other teachers help. I like to help with the AP chemistry one. I know that other teachers help in other classes. They have a calculus camp. I don't know if they'll do that virtually or not, but in the past, the Math and Science Academy has provided food. A couple of times, the Math and Science Academy actually scholarshiped someone to calculus camp that was not able to afford it. And so that's the way I would suggest. I think it would be a great thing to offer to the AP teachers and to ask them, how are you going to do your review sessions this year? Is there something we can do to support them?
Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay.
Do you want me to reach out to them?
Sure. I mean, I don't mind reaching out, but yeah, if you want to
Okay.
reach out, that's great, because I only know the teachers that my children have.
I'll tell you what, I'll send you an email
Okay.
that has a list of each of the teachers, each of the AP teachers, and what they're teaching and their email.
Perfect.
And I'll put it on a spreadsheet so it's easy to copy and then send out.
Okay, that would be amazing. Thank you. And then important reminder, November 12th, everyone needs to have their form filled out about how they want how their student will be going back to school in the spring. It takes time for them to figure out staffing. So I know it's hard to know what things are going to look like in January, but we need to fill out these forms by November 12th. It looks like they're going to do a full school day, whether you're EDL or whether you're going in person. If you're EDL, you're going to be going into the, you're going to be going in, sorry, I was reading a chat. You're going to be going into the classroom via camera at the same time all day. So it's not like it's been the last couple months where the EDL kids get 2 hours in the afternoon. So those are the two options. I believe Scottsdale Online is continuing to be an option. There was another email that went out today that was addressing a bunch of questions that people had regarding the Return to Learn plan. And one of the questions was, what is going to happen if all of our metrics are basically red and we are supposed to go hybrid? And they are coming up with a plan where there's a group that's going to go 3 days a week and a group that's going to go 2 days a week, and then they'll swap the next week. And that way they're having half of the kids on campus. So they are coming up with, at least it looked like from the email that came out today, what I would consider like a true hybrid option if we get to the point where we can't stay open in the way that we're staying open. Let me look at the chat real quick here. So if you do not need to fill out a form if your student is going to stay exactly as they are. So the forms went out, but if your student's on SOL and you're going to keep them on SOL, that's what they will do if they do not receive your form back. Or if they're in person, that's how they'll keep them. Can you please close? So when I'm talking about spring, I'm talking about, really talking about winter. I'm talking about January, when we come back after winter break. So, so we received an email a couple days ago that said that we needed to decide by November 12th, and we needed to fill out the form if our student was going to be changing the way that they're being educated right now. So again, if they're going to stay SOL, then you don't even need to return it. But if they're an EDL and you want them to go back on campus, you need to fill out the form. And again, on campus is going to look like all day on campus. That's a big change. And EDL is going to look like all day on EDL on Zoom into the classrooms. So you're watching the lecture. Hopefully you'll be able to send in questions and interact with the teacher. But it's going to be more synchronous learning.
It's going to be streaming.
It's going to be streaming, basically. Yeah.
They're actually they're putting cameras in every single classroom.
Yeah. And then we have a question about lunches and how will lunches be handled on campus. And I have no idea. My guess would be that they would have all the students required to eat outside, but I don't know. Do you know, Mr. Brandt, Mr. Miller, Ms. Lindberg?
I do not know either. I'm not sure that they have a perfect plan for it. They were talking about staggering the lunch in some way. They were talking about students eating in their classroom. And so I don't believe that there's a solid plan yet for it. I can ask. I'll write that down on my ever-growing list here. Lunch plan. But I did ask this question: how are we going to keep the kids socially distanced during lunch? And the answer was, well, you know, it's hard enough just to keep their masks on, and they're going to be taking their mask off to eat. And if they're in the cafeteria sitting across from one another and one coughs, there's no way we can trace them. And so it sounded to me like they were going to be eating in the classrooms. That's what it sounded to me like. And so Saguaro may end up having to go to 2 lunches. And so, you know, in most of the other schools are at 2 lunches. So we may end up having to go to 2 lunches. But I don't believe their plan is solid yet.
And one thing that I might have just missed it in the email. So when they say that the kids are going to come back, you know, typically all day, are they still going to do the block schedule so that their kids are not sitting in classrooms with 6 or 7 different groups of kids within the day? Like, are they going to have 3 classes one day and 3 classes the next day and have them in those classrooms for a longer period of time so there's less cleaning and less interaction?
That was not my understanding. I can, you know, Dan said that you know, that he would come on if you want for him to answer those questions. It's probably what we need is him. I'll send him a quick text and see if he can drop in.
Okay. thank you for the post in the chat here. The PSAT is on January 26th, and November 20th is the deadline for signing your student up if they are not a sophomore. Thank you. And that was the last thing I have on my agenda. I know we're going to be waiting to see if Mr. Miller can hop on and answer those specific questions about the return to learn. Does anybody else have any questions that the group on here might be able to answer?
Right. Actually, I do about the PSAT. I was just thinking, I know I paid the fee, but I don't know if that registers her or if we need to go to College Board and register.
That's a great question.
No.
I do not know.
All you have to do is pay the fee.
Okay.
I sent a text.
I already
to-
did this with my other kid, but I don't remember.
No,
So, okay.
you're
thank
good. She's good to go.
you. Okay.
So I text him, and we'll see if he jumps on or not.
Okay. And am I remembering when we go to pay a fee like this in the bookstore, we have to pay with cash or check?
I believe so. I think if you want to pay with a card, you have to do it online.
Okay. I know most of us don't walk around with a checkbook anymore. So just important to note. I know it's only $10 or $20, but I, for one, don't usually have $20 in my wallet. So, okay. There's Mr.
There's Dan.
Sorry to bother you at home.
Thanks
No,
for.
you're fine. How can I help you?
So there are some questions about return to learn that we were not sure about. One is, will there continue to be a block schedule, or when students go back in person, will they be going to, 6 50-minute classes?
Yeah, no, it'll be 6 54-minute classes. It'll be the regular bell schedule for second semester.
Okay.
How about the lunch, Dan? What do we got planned for the lunch?
In terms of like safety precautions and things like that, or?
Right. Will the kids be out in the cafeteria and that sort of thing, or?
Yes, they will have the opportunity to be. However, the cafeteria will be set up so they can't be sitting across from each other. There will be different spaces set up. There'll be more tables out, and about, and places for people to be and be, distant from each other. So, but yeah, there still will be one lunch. They'll have the opportunity. There won't be any kind of self-serve lunch stuff. It'll still be grab and go. But yeah, it will be, the opportunity for them to sit around campus and be socially distant. So.
And in terms of the setup in classrooms, because I know that, it didn't really turn out that half the kids went on EDL and half the kids stayed in class. What is there some kind of specification that you guys are going for social distancing and things like that? I mean, are you going to have how are you going to separate the kids enough?
Yeah, so the district guideline has been 3 feet between people, which obviously is not ideal. We'd love to be 6 feet, and we'll space out as much as we can based on the kids that choose EDL and in person. And we'll continue to try and find spaces if there are bigger classes. To be in different spaces, not necessarily their classrooms, if necessary. But it'll definitely fall within at least that district guideline of at least 3 feet of space, and then obviously we'll maximize wherever we can.
Do you feel like a lot of the teachers will be teaching their classes outside? I know we've been to some colleges and there's a lot of outside teaching going on from what we've seen.
Right. Unfortunately, because of the way that the EDL is going to be set up in terms of no longer having a separate space, they need to really kind of be within a set space. So unfortunately, there won't be as many opportunities for them to go outside.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, when this in-person thing starts, what about the clubs? Would they also be in person, or the children, especially continuing with EDL, would they have option to attend clubs EDL format?
Yeah, no, both will continue. I'm sure there will be more opportunities for in-person meetings of clubs, but only where safe for them to do so.
Hi.
Thanks, Oliver. But I'm sure there will be also opportunities for those people that don't feel comfortable being in person to still join that club and be a part of it virtually. So, whether it be the in-person meeting while somebody is kind of connecting with everybody else on Zoom, or whether it be those EDL people coming after school just for a smaller group where they know they can stay separated with their club. Those opportunities would be there as well. So kind of both, I would say will definitely be available.
Okay. So currently it seems, so if we have a full day school and the club starts immediately thereafter, or would there be some time gap for the students at home to come to club?
I think that would depend on the club. I think if there's a need, if they know, hey, I've got these members of my club that need a little bit of extra time, maybe we'll start at 2:45 or start at 3 rather than 2:30. I think it'll just depend on the needs of the club.
So that is flexible. All that setting of clubs is flexible.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then I saw in the question and answer email that went out today that they are developing like a real true hybrid plan. So is that for if we were to go red in all three metrics?
So if we were to go red in all three metrics, I think we'd have to be all online. However, I believe if basically it would come down to how many students complete EDL. I mean, if we have 90% of kids saying they're coming back, well, that's not really going to meet that definition. We're not going to be able to even achieve the 3 feet that we would need. And so we would have to go that route. So I think that kind of A/B hybrid schedule is more for if we continue to be in the yellow, but also if the numbers of people that select EDL are lower than expected, and we aren't able to maintain the district guidelines for distancing in class in person. But yeah, if we're all red, then we're not going to be able to have anybody on person. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just check the chat and see if there's any other questions.
Yeah.
Let me see. I do not see any other questions.
Okay.
Thanks for being here.
Sorry to bother you at home.
No problem. Sorry, Oliver wanted to be a part of that as well. So.
Very cool.
Hi, Oliver.
So the last thing, just to wrap up real quick, and I probably should have given you a heads up about this, Mr. Brandt, that I was going to mention this, but when we spoke on the board meeting last week, and we were talking about advising and counseling, you had mentioned that you and Mr. Miller both have your, let's see, I wrote it down here. You're both have your administration degrees, and you are eager and helpful and available to help students with whether it's course selection or career opportunities, career options, questions about colleges, internships, all that. So I know that all the freshmen coming in don't necessarily know you guys all that well yet, but hopefully they will reach out to you if they have any questions or need any kind of guidance.
Certainly, both Ray and I are administrative certification, and Susan has 30 some years in education. She's CTE certified, and amazing. She can give kids a lot of amazing advice, especially if they're going into science. So, I have Zoom meetings with kids. They're usually about 10 minutes. Most of the kids that come to me are juniors and seniors, but I certainly would like to get to know the other kids. They may be more comfortable with Mr. Miller because he actually teaches the sophomores. But I'm certainly there, and we want to invite all the kids. There's a disconnect, especially with our EDL kids, and so I have crafted a letter that will come from Mrs. Lindbergh, Mr. Miller, and myself to all of our kids, letting them know that we're available, and we're going to probably do all that through Zoom with them. Right now they're going to be very limited. In the past, our room was open before school and it was open at lunch. And not only that, we would interrupt classes we would take our little let's get you out of class ticket and pull them into the hall and talk to them if we needed to. That doesn't happen. We try to cover some classes and we try to be active in the clubs and everything, but it's been a disconnect. I really haven't met the kids that came this year. I don't really know them, and we're hoping that we can reach out to them and let them know that we're here. Their counselor is there. They can talk to their counselor, and they have all the information they need also on next year's classes. But we have the information on the path that they need to take to be recognized by the academy and to get into a STEM school somewhere in the United States. Ashley,
Sorry.
we lost you.
I had to move rooms to put something in the oven, so I apologize.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, there was just a question in the chat, which Mr. Miller replied to, or no, Mr. Milligan replied to. Just a question about who their MSA counselor is. So if someone is unclear, I mean, are you guys able to break it down and say, freshman, your counselor is this person, sophomore, how can someone know who their counselor is at this point?
It's alphabetical. All our seniors in the MSA are with Mrs. DeFay, and all the other kids are alphabetical.
Okay. So if they need to know, if their child's not a senior and they need to know, who should they reach out to find out?
The kid can find out who their counselor is simply by going on to their Synergy. The parents can see the Synergy also, and it lists the student's counselor there.
Okay, great. Perfect.
But I can, if you want me to send the alphabetical breakdown, I think it's on the website, but I can send that to you because I have that listed too. You want me to send that to you?
I don't mind having a copy. I can keep that in case anyone reaches out and asks me. Synergy seems like an easy way to get it too, but if I have that list and somebody wants to shoot me an email, that's perfectly fine as well.
I think, our discussion in the past was it's important for our students to have the same counselor over 4 years. And so that's our target right now, because as we grow, there could be counselor changes. And so I'm hoping that that we can work on that. That's kind of one of my working goals this year, is to assure that our academy kids have the same counselor over 4 years. And so I have an idea on how to do that. I just have to convince our counseling department and our school leadership that my idea is the best way to go. So I'm going to do it.
Sounds good. Okay, does anybody else have any questions before we wrap up here? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your time. Again, feel free to reach out to us as the booster team. And of course, really appreciate you, Mr. Brandt, taking the time to, explain that the three of you guys are totally there and willing to help all the students in every way that they can, and the parents too. So if you're confused about anything, or if you have any questions, or if you need any guidance, there's plenty of people that want to help out. So please reach out. And everyone take care.
Thanks, Ashley. And
Safe. Thank
Bye.
you.
Nice. Stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.